Hello and welcome back to Infamous MCP, the audio podcast. This is Brandon, or Mutilus on Discord.
This is Josh. I go by Grimmelzog on Discord.
And we're back with another riveting episode of Infamous. Today we'll be wrapping up our secure mission overviews and our thoughts on those. As always, the links in the show notes. Sadly, I don't think either of us has gotten to play any MCP in the last 2 weeks. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Yeah. Are you guys coming to the store tomorrow?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah, girlfriend was in town last week, so I did that.
Yeah.
And then we'll be there tomorrow, so...
Chief season's always rough for me to get games in because I've got D&D on a lot of weeks on Fridays, and then I had to work last Saturday, and I also gave Aaron and Kenny a demo of Old World. Then I've got Chiefs game on Sunday, so my whole weekend's just shot. I have no time to do anything, so my free gaming time turns into usually work.
Yeah. Did they enjoy it?
I think so. Kenny has been hoodwinked by Aaron, the master strategist, who has convinced him to play the worst faction in the entire game. For some reason, Kenny bought hook, line, and sinker. Do you want to guess which faction that was?
Did he choose High Elves?
You are correct. Got in one.
I love High Elves, so...
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm sorry for you.
It's a rough life,
yeah. I can tell you Kenny was not particularly impressed. My favorite was the moment he said, "These stupid fucking cavalry are like the worst ever. Why are they only weapon skill 6?" Because he had dragon princes.
Yeah.
I was like, the fuck are you talking about? He's like, they're probably like the worst cav unit in the game. Like, you are a fucking idiot.
That's funny.
It was pretty funny. Also, every time I tried to give him advice on what to do, he was like, "I'm not doing that. That's fucking stupid." I was like, "Kenny, one of us knows the rules.
Yeah,
which of us do you think is probably capable of making this decision?" He's like, "I ain't fucking doing that." I was like, "All right, whatever. Do whatever you want."
Yeah.
I was like, "You see this unit of Savage Orc Boarboy Biggins that's about to charge you in the front arc, and you've got 10 Swordmasters, and he's got his general in there, maybe you should flee." And he's like, "I ain't fucking fleeing. I ain't no coward." I'm like, "Kenny, you have 10 little elf people. You are going to get fucking slaughtered." Yes. And he's like, "I ain't running." I'm like, "All right, Kenny, whatever." Decides to hold, and then miraculously, Aaron misses like all of his fucking attacks. I was like, okay. And then, so he actually only lost combat by 5. Then he rolls his leadership and rolls a natural 4, and I'm like, and he got exactly the negative he needed, and barely didn't run off the fucking tail. I was like, "God damn it, Kenny!"
That's funny.
It was amazing. Anyway, back to MCP talk. So we're gonna wrap up the secure scenarios today. So let's go ahead and jump into that because I have no idea how long it's gonna take.
Okay.
So starting off today, we have Mayor Fix vows to find missing witnesses. The mission that I don't know if single-handedly is the right word, overwhelmingly convinced the devs to ban hired muscle. I don't know if you're aware of this. Originally, the witness tokens that are on the board were civilian tokens.
Oh, and you could pick them up?
I love the face you just made. You're like, what? You could not pick them up. They were just civilian secure tokens, which meant if you played hired muscle, you could move them. Range 3. Can you imagine having a 1 power cost tactics card that could potentially move both secure points on Mayor Fisk range 3 on any character's activation?
That's gross.
Can you even imagine the repercussions of that single action? Is like, okay, so this is an 8 victory point swing on the final turn because I'm losing 4, you're getting 4. Like, that's only if you play it on the final turn. You could play it any turn.
I would just play that turn 1, put them back on my side of the board, and be like, "There's now a bunker. Have fun."
Yeah. So instead, what I did is I played Web Warriors with every model having board control, and then on the one turn that they daze enough your models to get a foothold, you play hired muscle and just score both again.
Yeah.
And so you win the game basically automatically on turn 3, if not on turn 2. It was absolutely gut-wrenching. Thank God they fixed that by banning the card that never should have been printed.
I don't think I've ever seen this.
That being said, the card Hired Muscle,
Yeah.
is probably the most controversial tactics card that's ever been released. It only lasted like 2.5 months before getting banned.
Yeah, that I can see why that was banned.
It existed in the game with field dressing, which just said spend 4 power, undaze one of your dazed characters. Yeah, exactly. It was in the game with Med Pack, which was 2 cost, range 3, heal any character 3 damage. It was also in the game during All You've Got, which was spend 4 power, choose any model with threat value 6 or lower, and remove an activated token. Oh, no, sorry, not remove activated tokens. When the 6th threat or lower model ends their activation, immediately activate that model again. It was in the game with that. Less egregious. Yeah, it was crazy. There's so many fucking busted cards. Climbing Gear, still one of my favorites. I can't believe they banned it. 3 cost, range 3? No, it was range self. Choose yourself gets to advance short, and you gain Wall Crawler for the remainder of the turn. And so you could use it with like Magneto, and it's like, I'm immediately going to advance short.
Yeah.
And it's like, it was amazing. But you could also use it out of activation. And so you could, when you get like drug in to a dangerous situation, you could Climbing Gear away on your next turn. It was really good. You could also use it like duck out of cover, because it gave you Wall Crawler for the turn. So you could like, I'm going to play, Wall Crawler and just hop over this construction container building and just be out of line of sight all of a sudden. And so you could completely change the landscape of the turn. But regardless, back to Mayor Fisk. I think this is one of my favorite all-time secures. It is one of the only missions in the game where I think there's a nearly infinite like skill curve. Like, you can have so many strategies within strategies on this mission, and it seems really simple, but I think it's actually really, really subtle.
I would agree. I think this is a very well-designed one. I've seen it tons. I put it in a bunch of my lists, and I agree there's a lot of skill to it, because it's like... who was I playing? I was playing our buddy Dan down in Wichita, and he was playing new Spider Foes. This was a couple months ago. And I was playing new Asgard. And I never scored those points until turn 3 or 4, because he kept waiting to go over to score him, and I was like, I throw you away, I advance you away, like, goodbye. And I was like, because I was just going for a kill, and so I was like, I don't ever need to score those 4 points. I'll just
I'll
kill
need
you.
To stun and damage my people.
This game is now dragged on as long as I want it to. So
yeah, and I score it. It gets into a better position for you to then score it. Like, I don't want that. Because I don't need to get 16. I just make sure you don't get to 16.
Correct. Yes, this is a very well designed, good mission. I like the. I don't want to call it the negative part of it, but the downside to the mission, right? Where it's like, cool, it's a damage and a stun. And that feels pretty impactful if you're from behind. That definitely gives you a lot to work with, because if you didn't score it, you get to place it. So,
also the rubber band mechanic of me getting to choose where the objectives are going to be for the next round.
Yes.
If you're scoring them, like, a lot of times I'll go into a game with a really aggressive list, and my plan is to make it look like I'm trying to compete for the objectives, but to just let you score both, and then just drag them away from you at that point, to where now we've shifted the battle line to where I am, and now we're going to fight where I want to be for the rest of the game. And at a cost of 4 victory points, knowing that like you're going to have to come into me for the rest of the game, I think in some situations that's worth it.
Yeah. Yeah, like you said earlier, there's a lot to this mission. There's a lot of how you play it, what you're going to do with it, thinking ahead. It's good. It's a good mission. I like 20 threat as well. I'm always willing to play 20 threat. Or it's
is
16
it 20 now?
No, it's 16. Yes.
Yeah, 16. Scoundrels is 20.
Scoundrels is
which
20.
Is the other Mayor Fist themed one.
Yes.
Anyway, though, I wish we had more missions like this. Spoiler alert, we don't. We'll talk about that more later. Wedding Party is the other one.
Wedding Party, yeah.
We'll talk about that more. Yeah, A+ on design. I think it was an accident. I don't think they knew what they were doing at the time, but man, they nailed it, and they knew not to fuck with it because they haven't changed this mission, and they've had several opportunities to.
Yep.
They knew that they hit it out of the park, and they left it alone. So good job. Because I believe this came out in the same expansion. Yeah, because as the Criminals release, which was when Hired Muscle came out. I'm actually gonna look. I have to know. Oh, it's not. It's probably not going to tell me because they've updated the MCP.
I mean, it came out with with
Kingpin.
Kingpin.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure Hired Muscle came out with Rhino. No, Rhino was later.
No, Rhino was later. Yeah. Rhino had China Shop. This is robbery.
Yeah. Okay, so I was right. Yeah, it came out with the original Criminals.
Brace for Impact, I believe.
Everyone comes with Brace for Impact.
Yes.
And Heave Ho.
Yeah.
Fucking Christ. Anyway. Yeah, I give this a A-. Is very, very good. There's few things they could do to change it. I do think that this mission does lack a couple abilities for different playstyles. It does generally create a mosh pit in the middle. But that being said, yes. I think it does a good job of balancing that with player choice. Everyone who plays this game has massive ability to affect the outcoming play of the game. And very few missions have that. There's so many missions that have little to no interaction. This mission is 100% interaction.
Yes. It makes you think, and I think that's a good thing.
The last mission we review is Intrusions, which is similar to this in that it causes a lot of choices to be made, which will then cascade down the line in a butterfly effect and cause different choices to be made based on that decision being made. But it's not in the same way as this one. There's no subtlety about it. There's no elegance to Intrusions. It's just like a blunt force instrument.
Yeah.
But it does a good job of what it's trying to do. This is much more subtle. I don't think you can be really good at playing Intrusions. I think there's a competence level that every mission has. But Mayor Fisk, you can go down a rabbit hole of different strategies, and you can't do that with Intrusions. Overall play rate of 5%, which is surprisingly low, which makes me sad because I think a lot of people stay away from this mission because they don't feel comfortable on it, which means they don't play it enough. I think whoever plays this mission the most has a noticeable advantage.
Yes.
You have double the reps your opponent on Mayor Fisk, you have a noticeable advantage.
Yeah. If you understand how it works, you're at an advantage going into the game. So yeah, I would say a lot of people don't play it because it's a thinking mission. Mm-hmm. And then I know some people don't like the negative part to it. Like,
the damage and the stun.
I don't want to stun my models. I actually think when I play Asgard, I generally don't play it, even though I would like it, just because stun means I only get 1 power instead of 2.
Yeah.
So.
Cool. All right, we're going to move on to the next one now.
Cool.
MKraan Crystal gets Heroes home. Much higher play rate with 9%, 3,600 games played. That's a large number. I'm going to check. That is not the highest, but it is the second highest play rate. Do you agree with this being the second highest play rate secure? Keep in mind, this hasn't even been out for a full year, so it's the second highest play rate with, less opportunities to be. It's effectively the highest played noticeably because of that.
Yes. I'll just jump right into it. I love this mission. It's in most of my lists. Towards the end of its life, I was actually playing Sword base a ton, just because I think all pay-to-flip should be like this one, where you just get it if there's no one nearby. Don't make me roll dice. Just give it to me. That's way better than, I've lost games on turn 1 on other secures we'll talk about, where I'm I move up, I roll, and then I fail the roll. And I'm well, I didn't put anyone else over here, or I was waiting later in the turn to do it. And so I've just lost. I'm out those points, and it will matter down the line. So I like where it's just hey, you get it. I also like the overflip mechanic of I can't just leave it, right? Someone can just come over and take it, but I need someone near it, and that's an advantage for the attacker because they just roll dice, they might get it. It's cool. There was no need to do a bunch of janky stuff. Just a singular dice. Very good, and I like the bonus part of this, and I would assume that's why most people are playing it. Outside of it being a little tighter, a 19 threat, holding a extract, and you just get a power while standing next to it. Perfect.
It's Infinity Formula if you have an extract.
There's not a model in the game that's not going to like that, especially the person you're putting an extract on. So,
well, there is the opportunity of like my opponent's getting more power, and I don't like that. But yes, I think you're right. A lot of people agree with the sentiment of they want the auto flips if uncontested. I don't think they work on a lot of the deployments, but on the deployments they work on, I think I agree it's more enjoyable all the way around. I recall a game against Aaron's son Perrin, and I was playing Guardians with Thanos into his X-Men. He won priority, and so we're playing like an odd numbered extract and Mutant Madman. And so he goes first, picks up the extract, runs away with Beast, whatever, bullshit. So I move Groot, try to flip the Mutant Madman, fail with four dice. So then he just I guess I just walk forward again because I've lost this game, basically.
Yeah.
Thanos moves out of position to go flip the one that he fails it as well with the Reality Stone. I'm like, fucking Christ. And so I lose the game on turn 1 because I lost Prio and failed 2 consecutive pay-to-flips. And I was like, okay, so on the other side I've got 2 people that flip 1 point and stand there, and I lost. And then he final activation moved. I think it was Angela and overflipped me. I was like, okay, cool. So I scored 1 point to his 7. I was like, all right.
Yep.
And the only reason that happened was because of random dice. He won the roll to go first, and he got better pay to flips than I did. I was like, 0 decisions that the 2 of us made led to this 7-1 outcome, and that was I was like, I'll never play pay to flips again. This happens way too often that the game is decided by the dice and not by the players playing the game. And I don't care what you want to say about odds and bullshit. That should be a 0% chance that the game is lost on the first turn due to neither player's choices. That should never fucking happen. You should fix your game if that's the case.
Just a general theme. I also don't play to flips unless I have a specific thing I'm trying to do, or it's like this one. I don't like them. I don't. We've both now been like, yeah, we've lost turn 1. We knew we lost turn 1, and
because it's different on MKraan and Meteors because it's a centralized objective.
Yeah.
You're meant to be making lots of attempts on it. You'll see a bell curve on the Mutant Madman and what was the old one, Spider Portals. All of the ones that are really spread out, you don't get repeated opportunities to get those. Mutant Madman, you're going to double move Beast once and try an overflip. And if you don't, he probably dies before he ever gets a chance to do it again.
Yeah.
We're talking about really weird interactions where it's the entire game comes down to single fucking dice rolls. I really dislike being put in those situations, or even putting other people in those situations. It's you have to roll over here and roll 3 hits. That's how you win the game. And if you fail this one opportunity to roll 3 hits on 4 dice, you lose the game. Anyway, I like MKraan as well. I like the centralized placement. I like the threat value. I like the secondary effect. I said before we got this mission that I wanted more of these deployments. I thought that Sword Base had an opportunity. All they have to do is flip who pushed the model, and the mission would have been fine.
Yeah.
If it was a rubber band and not a win more, it would have been fine. But because it punishes you for losing on a pay-to-flip mission, just like Spider Portals did, you were punished for failing in a game that's incredibly random. That is never a good idea.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah, so MKraan, 1,000% better than Spider Portals and better than Sword Base. The percentage it is better, if MKraan is a 100%, Sword Base is a 15%. That's how much better this mission is than Sword Base. It's so much fucking better. Yes. And they're almost identical fucking missions.
Yep.
That simple change is so massive. Yeah, so I like this mission. It is rocking it out of the park with popularity, so I'm liking that. I don't think it deserves to be the most popular. I do think it is a good mission that people should be playing.
I think we talked in an earlier cast. A lot of my secure choices are I'm playing the least worst ones. and this is king of the least worst ones. So I understand why it's so popular.
Yeah. Alrighty. Next up, we have the aforementioned Mutant Madman turns city center into lethal amusement park. Maybe the best named mission.
Yes, it reads like a Fall Out Boy song, honestly.
Yeah. Okay, so 6% player with 2,514 plays, which puts it in about middle of the pack. Because if you're not counting the other ones, it's a little below middle. Which makes sense for pay-to-flips, right? Pay-to-flips aren't super popular.
Once again, pay-to-flip. If I had to guess why this one was so high, it's because it's a physical defense role, which is mathematically the highest in the game. Most people, if they're sitting at a 4-3-3, without the skew, like on average, most people, if they're sitting with a 4 and then 2-3 defenses, it's a physical defense.
So I don't think that's why, but I think it's actually the opposite. I think that the lists that are trying to play scenario don't want physical defense roles. They want energy or mystic. But I think it's for the deployment alone. I think the fact that it's a B, where it's a box spread out, and there's no central objectives, it's incredibly non-confrontational. It's almost a time walk turn one. If you're attacking on a B on the first turn, it's because your opponent forgot a safe grabber. I think that's why it gets played. It's that there's zero engagement, and it lets them focus entirely on extracts, and then just take their 2 freebies and pass.
Yeah, I would agree with that. That's a good point. The downside part of it, I like that you can capture it and then move away, and
I dislike the secondary component. I do like that. I don't mind the pay-to-flip. Of the pay-to-flips of the old generation, this was by far my favorite. Of the new generation, it's probably my third favorite, obviously MKraan and Meteors being higher. But
so why don't you like the secondary?
I don't like that it punishes the loser. I think missions that punish the loser are always bad. Now, admittedly, it's a small negative, but put yourself in this situation. My beast is going to cross the table to try and overflip your guy.
Yeah.
I am somewhat likely to do it, but we're still flipping coins here, right? So I try to flip it, I fail. Now I take a free damage for failing to overflip you, which is just putting me in a worse spot for the next round. That's why I don't like it.
Understand that argument. It's definitely
because it creates this entrenched, why would I cross the table? Like, why would I... it punishes you for being proactive. And again, that's never a good thing.
I would agree with that.
But it's a small secondary.
It's a very small... You at least get a power out of it, right? You don't always get a power out of damage off things.
It does... Okay.
Yeah, I'm looking at the cards as we go through so I can remember. Yes, it's a take a damage, gain a power. So at least there is a small bonus to the taking of the damage. It's not just take.
Yeah. And very admittedly, it could always be worse, right?
Yes, it could always be worse. At least it doesn't push you away. I assume if you're already that far going for your opponents, you're moving on that objective. Mm-hmm. So
it's just the concept of I am in a situation where I have to spend both of my move actions or a very expensive superpower to get to contest their point, which gives me nothing. It just allows me to spend my power that I clearly need to then roll an amount of dice to try and interact with my opponent. And the reason I have to do this is because the objectives are so fucking far apart.
Yeah.
And so the concept of putting somebody in that situation, especially newer players, you have no chance in this mission versus an experienced player that has a list built for it. It's you just I bought my Spider Foe starter kit and we're playing bees, and you're just gonna get blown out because you're not gonna understand that you spending an entire activation and all of your power to move across the board to have a 30% chance to get a victory point. And only if you activate your model at the right time in the turn is that even a possibility still.
Yeah.
Because if not, they'll just still take it back from you. And so it sets people up for failure. But again, it's still my third favorite pay to flip, which is saying a lot about pay to flips.
Yes.
I'd probably give this a C-. It's middle of the pack. It's good for the armies it's good for, and not good for the armies it's not good for. But it's not a depressive mission.
Yeah, and I think that would kind of speak to why its play rate is so high. It's not. Yeah, there's nothing there where I'm like, shit, I gotta play Mutant Madman. I'm like, okay, like sure, let's do it. Let's see what you got. Let's see what I got.
If this is the worst mission in your pack, you're doing real fucking good.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Alrighty, let's go to the next guy. We have Riots Spark over Extremis 3.0. 8% play rate with 3,036 games, which is definitely in the upper percentile. Do you have a question?
No, I'm itching.
Okay,
sorry.
You're sorry. Your hand.
Yeah, sorry. I was itching at an angle. Sorry.
You look like I'm waiting for you. I wanted to say something. No. Okay. Obviously, this mission is good because it's a D-deployment with a passive secondary effect. So it can extend the game duration. It can keep your models alive. And it's in a deployment that's very favorable towards teams that want to do those things. That being said, I think it is not a particularly abusable mission. It's pretty fair, honestly.
Yeah, I would agree. There's nothing about this. You're never mad when you play Extremis. 17 threat, which is, I think, what they consider like the core threat you should be playing. It's only 4 points. D is a pretty good deployment most of the time. I have definitely...
Again, it obviously favors teams that want to spread out, but at the same time, there's exactly 2 centerline points that you can't ignore, so it causes a little bit of engagement, which is nice, but it forces you to split your forces.
Agreed. And then, the interact part of it is fairly fair. I do like... I don't know if this was intentional, but that you can do it onto other people, not yourself. And you can do it even if your opponent is controlling the objective.
That's correct.
It's very fair. Everyone is getting a shot at doing the thing from that console.
You never got to play the game when the potato lists were winning the meta, and every table was Beta Ray Bill and Lizard and Rhino, and it was just
no, I played. I played during that.
But that was at the end of it though. Back in the day, it was basically just Rhino and God. Who else were we playing? Not Rhino. It was Lizard, Venom, Kingpin, Black Dwarf would see the table occasionally. Juggernaut was pretty popular. Anyway, it was very fun to just sit there and watch every single activation Lizard get healed. It was fucking annoying as shit.
Yes, I will say this definitely advantages models that have healing factor, because you can just do 2 points of damage off yourself. So I feel like I saw this a lot whenever I played against. I think Zach was playing when he's playing. I'm gonna call it Goblins. That's not the right list. Weapon X, because you want them close. Everyone's got knife hands, so you got to run up to them anyway. And then it's cool. I'll just camp around this point, healing factor, and also Extremis off of what I can.
Yeah, it's not bad.
So
I think it specifically helps models with durability. The fact that you probably won't get one-shotted helps a lot, and then obviously any healing you can add to the generic healing of the mission is great. Be it Hellfire Club or anything. When you have Logan healing,
I just had flashbacks
4 or
of playing
5
this
points around.
with Hellfire Club. I'm just going I healed twice. I'm okay.
Yeah,
I guess.
I think this mission's a little skewed towards runaway teams, just because it's so easy to disengage and then start healing back up. It also allows you to run away with stuff like cube fragments that prolong the game that you should be dying on. But it's not bad. I enjoy the mission.
I'd give it a very solid B.
Yeah, I think that's probably fair. I'd probably give it a B-.
Yeah.
Not a bad mission. One of the classics is, I believe, unchanged since the core box.
Yes. I can't think of anything they've ever touched on this one. So.
And then finally, getting to our next mission. With a 9% play rate, the single most popular mission in the game, the mission that turned the tide. Superpowered scoundrels form Sinister Syndicate. I remember the day this was teased, it wasn't even out yet. They showed a picture of the mission. I said, that's going to get banned before it sees play. There's no way you can let this mission go.
But 4
It
years
will
later,
ruin the game. I stand by what I said. I remember the day this came out. I was like, what the fuck are they thinking?
I believe Kenny gave me my first true taste of this mission because he liked to play Kingpin. And so I like showed up for a tournament. We'd only been because we played like by ourselves for like 6 months. Then we found the Geek Ring, and just
Kenny was playing Criminals.
He was playing Criminals, and he beat me on like turn. It was basically turn 2 because he just was like, "Yeah, do this." I was like, "What?" I was like, "You can do that." Yeah. I was running this in my Criminal Asgard list because of how good it is. And I'm not saying good as in like well designed. I'm saying good as in like you can really push this mission if you have a plan and your opponent has no way to counter it. Obviously 20 threat means you're bringing all the goodies. Cover is always fantastic in a game of outside of spikes 1s and 2s. That easily goes from I block 2 to I block 3. You only rolled 3. Cool. I'm good to go.
Well, just when you consider the average attack roll does 1 damage.
Yeah.
Like you have a 5 dice attack averaging about 2.75. You average defense roll adds about 1.3. So like on most rolls you're taking 1 or 2, and now you drop that to 1, and then you throw in a damage reduction model and you drop that to 0 on the average attack.
Yep.
Which means even if they're throwing a 6 dice attack at you, you're still averaging 0. It's just like, okay, well, what the fuck is the point then?
And
so it just makes it sit back list just becomes so strong.
This is a modified B, right? This is a B.
No, is an F.
It's an F. Okay.
5 points.
Yes.
That's the problem. It's the only 5 point secure.
Yeah.
It's the fact that you can have 11 victory points on the table.
It's hard because I think I played this a ton also when I was doing my shield gun line.
It's popular with that.
But it was also counterintuitive. It was like, well, my guys are squishy. I'll sit back and shoot, but
then
you're
all your attacks do nothing. Yeah.
You also have cover, so really, what's going on here?
And that's what I see happen a lot is people take it going, I want cover. And they're not wrong. You do want cover, but then I've seen so many people play Immortal Hulk on Scoundrels and face check a Webs player, and it's like I think Quentin won 3 games one year on turn 2, all against Midnight Suns on Scoundrels. Yeah. I was like, why are they playing this mission? It's because normally Hulk takes control of the center of the board, and everyone has to run away because they can't deal with Hulk. But actually, it turns out you just maybe stagger Hulk twice, maybe even just once, and it doesn't even matter. He can't kill your whole list, so you don't care.
I will say, with this layout, one of the things I do like is there's a little bit of, it really only matters turn 1, of chicken with who's going to go grab the middle point. Because obviously your secures on your side are probably safe. You're going to get them.
Yeah.
But then it becomes like, we're activating models, and it's like, all right, well, are you going to go for the point? Am I going to go for the point? Like, we're wrapping down turn 1. If I move over there, generally, because I would always just keep someone that had a push or a throw or something, and I'm just fishing for a trigger, and I'm like,
yeah,
I'll just push you back and move someone over and score it. So I do like we're both standing in a parking lot with knives. We're like, who's going to go for this first?
Right, and if everyone played it fair, I would be all for it. Like, if we're just going to line up and try and win points, I'm fine with that. The problem is when one of the 2 people involved is not doing that.
Yeah.
They're cheating. they're using abilities to say, simply move people. And you're like, oh, that's fair.
Yep.
At range, especially. So the thing that really irks me the most about this mission is I love everything about it except the F deployment. You could change the F deployment to basically anything other than the 6. Anything other than the fucking Senators. Pick anything else, and I would like this mission. 5 is just too many.
5 is too many. I would agree.
If it was the MKraan deployment, I would be fine with that. It doesn't even need to be pay to flip. Just like, we'll just move up, and it's just a little shoved in G, or whatever it's called. It's like, we'll just fucking knife parking lot this. It'll be fine.
I actually think that would be a really elegant fix to this, is the MKraan employment, because you're already so close enough that
That's the point.
You're able to negate some of the cover.
The F is the closest proximity of objective tokens, which is I think why they chose it. It's just too high scoring.
Yeah.
Or if it was just like you could only score a max of 3 points. If that was a caveat, it's like the maximum a player can score is 3.
I was gonna say I would have to play it to see if I liked it, but this is one where I could see if you control more, you score 2 points, as opposed to having 5.
Usually, it's the player who controls the most or all gets 3 points. Is the
that's
previous
what I'm saying.
wording they've used?
Yeah,
which I think would also work.
So if it was like, cool, I control 3, you control 2.
Yeah.
I'm just 2 points. That's all I'm scoring. Because that would make it really. You'd have to really push on your opponent. Be like, well,
I think 2 would be a little too low. I think 3 would be the right number. But the fact that you could never score 4, I think is fine.
Yeah.
As soon as you get to the realm, it's like you're no longer going to get like 1 good activation leads to you scoring 8. Like as soon as that comes off the table, I am way less concerned.
I agree.
The problem is so many times you'll have like Immortal Hulk or Namor or fucking Red Skull or pick a fucking big guy or Peter Parker from the core set activates with 8 power and declares that he scores 5 victory points by himself. It's like, what the fuck are we doing, guys?
Yeah.
Like, it's just too easy. Not to mention that the average point scored on extracts now is 4+. And so you're putting 9 to 10 points on the board, and one team has all the tools to score it. That's going to be a problem. And I just see too many games end on turn 3 that it's just like one player doesn't even get to play the game.
Yep, I agree.
It's just a little too fast.
It's like there's just too many points. It's right there from being very good of something. I pick it all the time, but only because it's 20 threat, and it does force you to fight me in the middle. So I don't hate it, but I agree. I remember a tournament. I can't remember where it was, but it was my Criminal Asgard list, and I felt so bad for the. And this is more of a commentary on Kingpin's leadership, but I just remember doing that to a guy turn 1, where he's like, "Okay, I grab my back 2 and move someone to the middle. I double move someone to their side." It's like I score 4, and then I had 3 objectives. I was like, "Cool, I've scored 7 on the first turn."
Yeah,
and guess what? There was nothing you could do because I just move over there. I just get it.
Yeah.
And with Prio, I was able to get more, objectives than he was, and so cool.
No, yeah, the
I'll be
Kingpin list.
I'm probably gonna wrap this up on turn 3, and neither of us really got to play a game.
The fact that I've even seen turn 2 victories is partially because of this mission. And it's not been 0. Like I've seen half a dozen turn 2 victories on this mission. And this is never meant to be how the game works. This game is a 6 fucking turn game.
Pull this in cubes. 2 turns is very doable.
Yeah. It has been funny in the past that there's been 4 separate times that somebody has just walked into the Geekery, picked up the game, and so I feel like playing Criminals, and then they go on this crazy win streak.
Yep.
And because it's just like the meta has moved away from Criminals, where you're like everyone has stopped playing pay to flips, everyone has stopped bringing the things that stop Kingpin, and then just like face checked a Kingpin player going 6 wide. It's like, yep, I lose, and then all of a sudden next week you see Demons and Gamma everywhere. It's like,
exactly.
Yep, that's what happens. It's like we fucking stopped trying to beat him for 1 fucking week. I remember the first Adepticon after COVID. I chatted with Mike DeLuca a lot and Omnis. And we were all just sitting in a group talking, and because the game was still pretty open back then. That was unfortunately the cancerous part of the Thanos meta. But we were kind of coming out of it. Like it was clear that they were working to get that out of the game, and so we were all pretty excited for the new opportunities. And we were all just sitting around talking, and we said like, you could basically bring anything to a tournament and have hopes of winning. That was how good the meta was back then.
Yeah.
Every single affiliation had a chip in a chair chance to go win. X-Men were kind of strong at the time. Black Order was really strong, but anyone could put that Black Order package in their list. You had to buy 2 box sets, and you're good to go. And so you're in for less than $100, and you could put that package in your list. And we were just like, except for Kingpin. If Kingpin doesn't win a tournament, I feel like he did something wrong. And that's the only list. It's like, this guy is too good. And so, because nobody was playing pay to flips, because if you played pay to flips, you'd like auto lost to X-Men, and so they're running away from X-Men right into
Oh
Kingpin.
God, I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah.
The turn one.
So it was just an interesting time that I remember. Yeah, Scoundrels, everything but the deployment shape, A minus. Deployment shape, F minus.
Yes.
Averages to a D minus.
I agree.
Yeah. All right, what's up next? We have
I think
the
from my
final
list,
mission.
Yep.
Wedding Party. The list we kind of talked about earlier actually has a surprisingly high play rate of 6%, which I would have never guessed based on locals. We have seen this mission played one time, and nobody liked it.
I think I've never played this mission.
I've never played it either. I tried. I put it on my list several times.
I think Zach plays it a lot, actually.
Mm. Oh, okay. I just haven't seen those games.
But it's because, so we'll just get into it, 20 threat, and then it's 2 points on the middle, fairly spread out. And
it's Marefisk, but they're placed where the normal C's are on the outside.
And I believe with his very high tempo Wakanda list, he could just bait people into moving up to the middle where he wanted them, and just go, delete. We're deleting this. So it really worked for his thing.
Yeah, and even though it sounds like a lot of points, it's really not that many. Like 4 points on secure sounds like a lot, but it's really not, because the actual high scoring missions are much better. Because you're never really going to get both.
Yeah.
You'll get one, but you're never really going to get both, which means it just turns into like a null. It's like, Madman, where it's like not really that many points. But you have to fight for them, unlike Madman, where they're free.
Yes.
So you end up devoting like 4 models to scoring 2 fucking points and getting half of your models killed.
So looking at this, I think I actually might like this more than Fisk.
So
simply because of the deployment, because it's way harder to. Because I think with Fisk, if you move each of them within 2 directly towards each other, they'll be within 1.
I don't believe that's correct. I think you have to move them twice, or at least one of them.
Twice. If you put a character, you'll be able to be within 1 of both.
I believe a character can contest both.
Yeah, that's what I meant to say. Not they'll be within 1, but a character can contest both. So I like this one because it forces you to split your list.
But how often does that happen?
I don't know.
Because that means
Not very often.
let one. Hold on. That means you let one player score both, which rarely happens on the first turn unless it's intentional. And 2, you have to then move them exactly directly towards each other, which means that your opponent's in a good spot to then score them again.
I'm agreeing with that. I'm just doing a math setup.
Which is what I'm just saying. Like the fact that we don't see that happen outside of old Thanos lists.
Yeah.
There's a reason we don't see it happen, because it's not a good strategy. But you're not wrong. That was a concern I think they had, which is why Wedding Party has a different deployment. But everyone I've seen that's played Wedding Party goes, so you just refuse flank the whole game. And everyone just puts all of their models in a big pile on one of them and watches their opponent do the exact same fucking thing. And whoever tries to cross the middle of the table loses.
I think that's cowardly, but I understand the strategy of that.
But that's the problem. It's like, because again, you're disincentivized from trying. Because just imagine, it's like, we both have 20-point piles sitting on our objectives. Your model is going to, move, charge, and die?
Yeah, because this one...
And then your next model is going to move, charge, and die? And, like, what's the point?
At a high level...
So I'm just going to feed you 2 fucking models.
At a high level, I think this one is going to be very determined by what the extract is.
It's the extract plus priority. Whoever wins priority on this mission, if it's an odd extract, unless weird shit happens, like they have a really good, fucking scorpion maneuver to drag your ass out, you're going to lose. Because you're going to get into a refuse flank against an opponent that's scoring more points than you. Which is exactly how the old Thanos list won as well. Like, you just turtle on 2 of the 3 extracts.
So I don't hate this one. I feel like I'd want to try it a couple times. But I'm not a super big fan. I'm trying to think if I'd rather play Fisk or this. It has potential. It's definitely
they're just too far apart.
Least worst one. But I do agree. I think that's the main downside to it. Once you made that point, of they're so far apart that there's no incentive to go to the other one. Maybe if you did something wild, like you could place it 3 or something crazy.
Well, then why put them so far apart if the whole point is to get them back together?
I'm just trying to think of how I would workshop this. Because
Okay, so I don't even know what the secondary is effect. I'm reading it right now. So during the cleanup, each of the VIP attempts to flee, starting with the player with priority. Each player places all VIPs scored by their opponent within 2. Each VIP may be placed this way once per round. Then each character within 2 loses 1 power. So instead of damage and stun, it's loses 1 power.
Yeah.
What if it was like takes 2 damage?
That'd be pretty wild.
Yeah, like you would be like, okay, I have to have people. And then
Yeah.
because if I'm dogpiling it so there's no chance you get it, my whole team's taking 2 damage. So like you couldn't have that be your plan. You would have to have something else going on. And so you're like, all right, I'm just going to build a wall protecting it, and that's kind of diffused. That way you can only hit like 2 of them at once, and then I'll have a guy in the back actually holding it. And then I'm just going to play bodyguard for it, and then we're kind of both doing the same thing. Then there'd actually be choices to be made, not just I put all of my models in base contact and I put that large base on top of the objective.
Yeah.
Like, what are we doing? Because both players have to basically agree to put them together again. Because if I push mine towards you, you can just run yours away. And it's like now my whole list has a backup to go keep scoring it. And so you like if one player doesn't want to fight, you just keep moving them the same distance apart.
I think it. I do like the 2 damage idea only because I'm sitting here thinking through it again, and the losing of 1 power. Wow.
Does nothing.
Important.
It does literally nothing.
Is really minimal. It's nothing, like you're saying.
Yeah.
Especially because it's at the end of the turn, so assumedly, I've probably spent all my power
it's
anyway.
It's delayed poison.
Yeah.
It's actually faster than poison, because if it gave you poison, you wouldn't actually lose power till the end of the power phase.
Maybe if it was like you lose a power, and if you reached 0 power, you took 2 damage. Something.
Well, if that's the case, it should just be like loses 3 power.
Yeah.
Like it needs to be something like meaningful. The problem is like a lot of characters generate more than 1 power, or have actions where they can get more power, like capacitor.
Yeah.
You also have your models that are gonna have extracts.
Well, especially because like with this one, I'm like, cool. I'll just go put Taskmaster or someone over there that's gonna camp it and shield throw twice. So
who cares?
I'm down a power.
Well, he's not going to shield throw because you're range 6 away from the other thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the only thing that's going to happen is you're basically going to have like a Thanos or a Peter Parker or someone who has crazy board manipulation, like maybe a Daredevil, is going to basically wait for the exact right moment on a big turn, and you're just going to jump in and fucking frog splash their whole point as the last activation, and just try and shove everybody off of it one time to win the game. And that's all the game can be, is in my opinion, unless both people basically agree to play it. But I don't think you're incentivized to, because the mission de-incentivizes proactivity.
I'm gonna put this like a really solid C, like super middle ground. I don't hate it. I don't love it. I don't really see any lists that I play that I would want to play this.
The only reason I think it's got value is because it's kind of a null scenario. But I have a couple back points that are going to make me give it a very low rating. So first, I just want to say that I don't have a lot of experience with this mission. So this is an uninformed take, just like Parker's take on Inhuman Weapons. I have not played this enough to really get the final result. This is just theory crafting plus a very small number of games I've watched. So that being said, my first big problem is like what we talked about previously. The person who wins Prio on an odd-numbered extract is just going to win this mission. It's just going to take fucking forever. And so your only option is to just move your whole list across the table and abandon your point. And so if you can do that, and you have a list able to do it, like let's say you've got, God forbid, you've got Malekith with Black Bifrost, and you're fucking ready to get some, and you send your whole fucking list through that thing.
I was going to say, what if you just dogpile their points? Then we got a game.
And so, but who decides whose point is which? It's a neutral scenario, so what do you do?
Well, yeah, because this is super like...
Someone's going to claim one first, and then you're going to have the Zack thing, where it's like Black Panther nukes that guy from orbit, then they take the other side.
Yeah. Because this is very much like, I'm going to play to the extracts.
Right, but the extracts are also neutral.
My opponent and I are doing chicken to see who's going to move on to one of these first.
Mm-hmm. And so you're going to get in this position where, let's say you pull, Legacy Virus, just pick a generic one. So one player scoring 4, one player scoring 3. How many rounds are you okay doing that?
2.
One, maybe 2, right?
One is ideal. 2 is like
yeah.
if
So
it
it's
goes
8-6,
past that, I'm not winning
yeah.
this game probably.
It's 8-6. You guys have all regrouped around your secure, and they've kind of moved around, but nothing's really happened. Now what? Because when you moved your point towards them, they then moved away from you, and so you're like, all right, we're just going to keep the distance, basically. So your only option is to abandon ship and charge them. But that means you're moving your whole list versus action economy because they're not moving. They have spent 0 resources for you to feed them models. You're going to move a model up, probably get 1 attack, and get attacked by everyone in their team that wants to attack you. So you have to send your whole list at them, whether an entire round of attrition, just to stand on top of them. Then we're going to fight to the death. But meanwhile, I can just send 1 model back to your side and fuck the whole thing up.
Yeah.
And so it's just like, oh man. And so that 1 round, you're probably actually going to lose 6-1. And so you've already given up 4-6. Now it's 10-7. And now you have to win the game right now. And that's not the only way it can play out. That's just a common way I see it playing out. I don't ever want to be either player in that scenario. I don't think that's a fun game. I think it's a shitty situation. And I think that a lot of games will devolve into that. Now, if you both pull even numbered extracts, or you have the tools, like you've got really fast, like let's say you had Ghost Rider with Highway to Hell, and you can drag their ass fucking back across the table and get one of the extracts from them. Cool. Unless you have a lot of like Namor is a good example. Namor can get in, maybe steal one, and still get out depending on the timing he has to do it. Because you can basically charge Spender as the last activation of the round, get the extract off of them.
Yeah.
Next round, survive one guy's activation, get out. Like I can see that working. There's not a lot of models that can do that well, but it is possible. Or you can just play dumbass broken models that can just steal shit off people. But,
hell yeah, brother!
Yeah, exactly.
Webs Players 2026.
But yeah, I think by the time you let the objectives naturally get to each other, like if I'm just chasing you the whole time, I will eventually catch you. But it's being like turn 4 or 5. But we just talked about, like, if you're scoring 4 around on a lower scoring extract, you've won the fucking game on turn 4. He's winning the game on 4, scoring 4 points around. So you have to go get him right fucking now. And if that one turn you abandon your point, he's able to make some play with like Gwen, fast-moving displacer, and just walks back and takes your point from you as the last activation, you are beyond fucked. Because now he only has to score, 2 points on round 4 to win the game? Yeah. He just runs away and he wins.
And now...
where's the win on that? That's a terrible situation.
Now that I'm looking at it even more, I'm not sure about the whole, lose 1 power. Because in this scenario you're kind of talking about where one person is just dominating both, assumedly you're doing enough damage, you're already flush with power.
Well, what the ability does basically is if you're going to refuse flank and you guys are just going to sit on your hills and look at each other, no one's getting power out of it. That's not what it says. It says lose 1. Yeah. So people like Doctor Strange are banking 2 around, or anyone who has meditate or capacitor charge, any of that shit is just stacking up power.
Yeah.
And then the other team is not. And so then you can come in with your full power Scalpel Strange, double Scalpel in a turn, and do some really cool shit. But it's not going to work if they're still standing 5 guys on 1 point. So yeah, I need more reps with this mission to really get a final opinion of it. But I have a lot of concerns. Now again, it's still not the worst mission in the game. I think it's honestly worth playing just for the null scenario that I know my opponent's not going to massively outscore me on the blue. I can play a list that is mobile and aggressive and go into my opponent, and if they're going to play refuse flank, I can try and crack it with the things the cruise missiles I'm throwing at them. Yeah. Can try and win that fight enough to where it doesn't matter that I've only got Bob on my back point. I'll kill enough of their people that they have to focus on me. Perfect example, it's just okay, you have a Logan and a Thanos, and Thanos is going to, Cosmic Portal, Space Stone him into position to Tornado Claw their point when they only have 1 model left to activate. And it's if you don't kill me, you are beyond fucked. Yeah. And it's just nothing you can do about it. And it's so there's things that do break those bunkers. It's just, you have to have the tools before the mission is flipped over, not after. Yeah. Right? You have to have had a list where that's an option. Anyway, that was a whole lot of words to say. I'm not a fan of this mission.
Okay.
Probably give this a D plus, C minus. Probably D plus.
C
No,
minus, and then
C minus. I'm going to go C minus. I don't think it's egregiously bad. I just think it has problems. But the real surprising part to me is the rate of play. I never thought. I had not seen anyone playing this. Like, is this getting more play than Mayor Fisk? It's
So
getting more play. It's getting noticeably more play than Mayor Fisk. How the fuck is that possible?
it's because it's a 20.
Is that the only reason?
Yes. I am not speaking for everyone, but I choose a great many missions off threat level, because I like to play with more toys. B, I played Asgard for a year, and I don't have an option of very many cheap models. So the more I get, the more threat I have, the more value I'm going to get out of my list. So, I would say, the 20 threat is probably a big part of it.
Okay. I would find that surprising, but not impossible. I think a lot of people put a lot of thought into the threat levels in their team, but I think they pick the missions that are really good for their team and then build packages at those. Totals.
I would agree. Yeah. It's both things.
But it's not zero, right? If you have like an amazing 20-point roster, you put missions in that are 20 points. Yeah. You make sacrifices, right? So, but obviously you're not going to like put this in as like a. No, like Shield would never play this. I guess actually Shield would be good on this mission, but
I would never start. Oh, Shield would love this under Nomura's leadership. They would love it. Yeah.
Well, actually, maybe not, because the objectives moving might be a problem. Like, because your opponent's moving yours, and so if they just keep moving yours, you'd have to reposition your force every time, and that would suck.
Fuck, I forgot what I was gonna say. It's gone now. But yeah, it's
sorry.
No, it's okay. It's not. Oh, I would never start a list with this mission.
Yeah.
Right. This is like.
I can get away with it.
I need a third. What's the least worst one that's gonna work for my list? Probably this one.
Yeah. I will say I definitely need to play more Mayor Fisk and more MKraan. I don't really reach really hard for those right now. I do like them, and I put them in lists, but I'm never going like, all right, I'm starting a roster with these two missions. But also, to be fair, the last like 3 lists I played have been like Cabal and Hellfire, and now Hydra, which have kind of like specific needs.
Yeah.
And so, but yeah. Cool. Do you have anything else to touch on these?
More sword MKraan style layouts in the new pack, please. AMG, if you
more Gs. Yeah, that would be fun. I don't actually love the deployment. Actually, you know which one I want more of desperately is, I think it's called It's the one Meteors is on. Deadly Meteors.
Oh, the Slash.
Yeah, it's actually from War Machine. The mission used to be called an Incursion, and so it was there was shallow diagonal line of flags across the midline, and so yours was worth the lowest, the middle was worth a good amount, and if you ever got your opponents, it was worth the most. It's kind of like the concept of the old Gamma Wave, but it's much closer in diagonal versus a straight line.
I would agree that would be my number 2.
Yeah.
Because that one's like, cool, I've got my safe, you've got your safe, now we're meeting in the middle. Like, yes, please. But I'm excited. Next week, I believe, is the ranking.
Yeah, so next week, we actually have our next several weeks scheduled. Next week, we're going to do our ratings for the secures, and so we're doing our 1 through 10s. We'll go through that, and then the following week, which will be obviously 2 weeks from now, is going to be an overall 2025 packet review. So we're talking more abstract concepts, likes and dislikes about the current mission packet. I think some of the news we're going to get in Mini Extravaganza, which is going to be the following week, by the way, which is why we planned this out. I think we're going to get some teasers about the new mission pack that'll be coming out next year.
Yes.
And also hopefully some model updates and some new fun teasers for new releases.
Yeah.
So this next week is secure ratings. After that is 2025 crisis review, and then after that will be Mini Extravaganza breakdown, and then after that we'll probably do another episode following up Mini Extravaganza. And so
cool.
That's where we're at. So tune in if you're interested, and thanks for coming in today. Hopefully you had a good time. This has been Brandon
and Josh.
And you've just listened to Mayor MKraan Mutant Riots Super Wedding.
So what are we going to call this thing?
I got it. Okay. Incredible, new, fantastic, astonishing, mighty, original, uncanny, sensational podcast.
I'm just going to put down infamous.